Your duties as a sugar baby should be equal parts. You need to take on both the duties of a sugar glider and a push baby.
But that's it. That's why we held up the money.
Just described as a quid pro quo. The Kurds know how to fight, and as I said, they're not angels. They're not angels.
All roads seem to lead to Putin.
It's October 17th, 2019. This is episode 4 of Secondhand News.
October 17th, 2019.
You know, where we take the news before you can digest it and roll it around in our mouths first to make sure it isn't poison. Grossed out?
That's pretty gross.
Okay.
But not gross enough that's going to make me stop drinking.
Everybody take a sip. This will be known as the drunk episode. We got a couple of people in the studio tonight. We got the woman whose face launched 1,000 quips, Laura. Hi. I like that one. The one I like the most. And she's just like, fuck you.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
What's wrong with that?
Everything is wrong. And then that's my co-host, Dave Columbo. I'm drinking. Shut up.
Okay. We have a special guest with us today. He's
Hi.
a comic, he's a writer, and he's so mad about Iran-Contra and trickle-down economics, he chooses to pronounce his name Casey Regan, everybody. Casey Regan.
Ooh. Don't even. The thing is, everyone has called me Casey Regan my entire life, and I get it. He was a president.
He was a thing.
Yeah, he was famous. It's like it's immediately on people's tongue. But I'm trying to, one day, I hope they call him Ronald Reagan by accident.
Breaking news, quid pro quo-ly shit. It's hard to write jokes when the very concept of reality seems to be up for debate. The only thing right now for sure is that if this is all part of some divine plan, then God is definitely on cocaine. As acting chief of staff Mulvaney admitted that aid to Ukraine was held for political investigations and that wasn't unusual, and then he said that he didn't say that. So if you're keeping track, the president is open to foreign influence, requested foreign influence, except he didn't, except he did, except he didn't. You got to think there's a parallel world right now where Hannity is ripping President Hillary Clinton for her slightly mismatched pantsuit and Vice President Tim Kaine for having a weak handshake.
I love that Mick Mulvaney story. I love the. Oh, I mean, no. I didn't mean because it's Trump has gotten us beyond. There's no such thing as a gotcha anymore. Mm-hmm. A gotcha only lasts 5 minutes.
Well, but his chief of staff today said that yes, it did happen, and deal with it.
If
he's
he can,
very wily. I mean, that's the one thing I will give Trump is he's very wily.
If he can sidestep,
he keeps painting he keeps being Roadrunner. And he keeps painting those openings for tunnels, and we keep smashing them in. And we're like, is this actually going to be a real tunnel?
Wait, hold on, Casey. Laura, please describe more Roadrunner cartoon stuff. I would like in as much detail as you can.
Shut up, David.
See, Trump is
This is my second vodka. Whatever.
This
is how I'm dealing with the week.
Trump has positioned an anvil on the end of one stick, and he's standing at the end of the other with
Ukraine
a boulder.
is Acme,
Ooh.
right? It has been a lot of fun to watch Trump squirm this week. Did you catch the
press conference that just happened?
The press conference with the. See, if I had to pick a favorite moment,
he was terrified.
I think it might have been the president's psychotic ramble of a press conference with the president of Italy, who. The president of Italy could not have looked any more like he wanted to say arrivederci. This is a recurring thing with Trump that I've noticed is that whenever he's taking questions next to a foreign leader, he can't express a coherent message because he's always stuck doing damage control. It's always like, President of Zimbabwe, do you feel like the economic sanctions strengthen your resolve as a partner in global trade or as an impetus to pursue a message of infrastructure at home? And President Trump, why did you call the Democrats dick lozenges? and now he's stuck in front of this king right next to him going The media is corrupt. Everything is fucking psychotic. You guys are crazy. Fuck you. Fuck you. And it's always the dignitary next to him is just like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. He also did that, my favorite thing Trump does when another world leader is like doing a press conference with them, which is like underhanded critique the world leader like in front of the press.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite thing. Like Trump, whenever it's like a bad wedding speech whenever Trump's up there with like a like so because he said he was like he said I'm not gonna do a voice because I can't. I'll try to do a Trump. Okay.
I want to hear your Trump.
Okay. So the president of Italy is here, and he's great with NATO partners, except he doesn't, except Italy, you pay less than your 2% to the NATO military, but that's fine, we'll figure that out. Like, he's
Move over, Alec Baldwin.
It's pretty good, right? It's not bad. I've honestly never practiced it. No, but he did that thing where he critiques, he in front of the Italian president, like, it's like they had a great meeting and they were on the same page. And then he goes out in front of the press and he's like, oh, by the way, he just critiques, he backhanded, surprises him with a little bit of, oh, by the way, you're short on your bill. He's like, this guy's a great guy. I love him. You know, he's
And he kept saying during this press conference that he's like, the Kurds are no angels. Can you say that though in your Trump impression? Because like I dare. The Kurds are no angels. So the Kurds are no angels.
Casey Regan, it's Lorne Michaels. I heard your impression.
Thank you, Mr. Michaels.
And I absolutely have to have you on SNL.
Wow. I do some other impressions too.
That's all I need.
Lorne Michaels, if it's okay to tell you if you're listening right now, because we're just assuming everyone's listening. I know your office smells like popcorn. If you hire me, I will continue to make more popcorn for you. So he kept saying the Kurds are no angels. Well, neither is he. So we stop giving him aid?
Hey, there we go. I like
there
that.
we go. That was one of my jokes. Thank you.
This week, John Bolton called Giuliani a hand grenade, which is like Keith Richards calling you a drug addict, because game recognized game.
He'll be fine. He'll just go hibernate in his coffin for a few hundred years. Monday was Columbus Day. Grab the kitties and some syphilis and celebrate the man who gets away with genocide.
A bunch of statues of the explorer were vandalized in protest of celebrating him. And I would just like for Christians to take note, this is what a war on a holiday looks like. No one's calling Jesus a fucking rapist. No one's throwing red paint on mall Santas, probably because that would just make their costumes more festive.
Get rid of the statues. I'm sorry. Well, what is our obsession with we have such a toxic relationship with statues in America.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. Get rid of all statues. Let's be clear. If you are, with the exception of fake people like Rocky and RoboCop.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what? Fake?
Ooh.
Casey, what did I
Laura,
tell you?
I knew. With the exception of fake people, if you are renowned enough, famous or infamous enough to warrant a statue being made of you, you're a monster.
No, absolutely.
And I'm talking to you, Ann Sullivan.
I mean, I think we can all get around the idea. Let's replace every single statue with a Cinnabon.
Oh, perfect.
I think that wins over everyone, because even no one from the South would argue with that.
No, absolutely not. But let's be honest, really the frustration is with the man, Columbus. And let's be honest, Columbus...
Oh, it's not just the statue? People.
It's not... I hate statues! Oh, that's also Columbus, too. Oh, shit. But think about it. Columbus discovered America the way Godzilla discovered Japan. Every year, we're reminded of the genocide Columbus left in his wake while trying to find a route to the East Indies, which actually, I looked it up. He was trying to avoid a Muslim-controlled waterway. So technically, we can also add Islamophobia to the list.
Nice.
Nice.
Aww.
This is honestly...
You learn something every day.
Honestly, it's the most impressive thing about Christopher Columbus is all the awful things. Like,
The fact that he could achieve all
like
that.
the amount of awful things he
Right.
did is pretty that you learn only when you grow up in America. You learn only slowly over time.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys watch like a video of like Christopher Columbus when you were in grade school around Columbus Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like Christopher Columbus was like this nice white guy, nice clean shaven, brown hair, and then I remember like him coming to America and like the Native American children like running up to him and
Yeah.
like giving him a hug.
Hands him a teddy bear. Like, how does he have a teddy bear?
Yeah.
Like, just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're laughing and having a good time. Like that's really fun.
Well, if you think about it, Columbus probably had the most amazing publicist, since in reality, he wasn't Italian because Italy didn't become a country till 1891. People already knew the earth was round, a fact that some of us have taken a slight detour with recently. So much of his story is bullshit, it makes me even doubt that he sailed the ocean blue. It might have been green or purple, though let's be honest, considering his disregard for human life, the water was probably red.
That's dark.
But you know what? What does make me feel good about that? One, this is awesome. Everyone should deface Columbus statues.
Yeah.
That should be the day. Like, if we can't just get rid of Columbus Day, we
That
should
should
just
be the
call it.
day.
It's not Indigenous Peoples Day. It's like fuck with a Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Fuck Columbus Day.
It's not Columbus Day. It's fuck Columbus Day. And we just like fuck up Christopher Columbus statues. I think that's great because the thing is we're so close. Which is, I mean, I honestly never know it's Columbus Day until I see posts about how we shouldn't have a Columbus Day.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, it must be coming
I'm
up.
so
Yeah.
close to forgetting. We are close. The society, we're close. We could just lose it.
Right.
Just let it go into the ether.
When you say that he, the most successful thing that he did was all the bad things, and
That's not what I said.
When you said that you love Columbus and want to emulate him in any way, shape, or form. But I was looking it up. He took 500 slaves back to Hispaniola. Only 300 survived. So even in the context of a slave trader, he wasn't good.
He was bad at it.
Yeah.
So my kielbasa is in a knot. I would like to talk about our next thing, which is Poland is considering a bill to criminalize sex education. And for me, this is very important. I'm very Polish. I actually was in Poland a couple of months ago. And it's something that Poland really struggles with is social issues. Mm-hmm. And just this year, they had their Pride Week and everything, and it went really, really violent. People got hurt. It was bad. And then kind of their version of Fox News has a magazine, and in their magazine came with these rainbow-free zone stickers. Meaning like no LGBTQ welcome here.
Yeah, wasn't it like said like it's an LGBT safe zone? Like we're safe from them here.
It's a
thank God.
No, it was a rainbow free zone.
Rainbow free. Oh, gotta get away
Rainbow
from
free
it.
zone.
Light does not refract in this neighborhood.
So it's so upsetting because out of anybody in the world, they should know prejudice sucks.
Yeah, no, I read that said that like they called homosexuality an invasive foreign influence that threatens Poland's national identity. I was like, where have I heard that before? Mm-hmm. My favorite part of the story was that the party invested in this is the Law and Justice Party, which has the unfortunate acronym and translated to English PIS. So it's a group called PISS talking about underage sex. Somewhere R. Kelly just got a shot of adrenaline.
What I read was it was specifically trying to get rid of sex education to cut down on pedophilia. That was like that because they think if you don't teach kids sex education, there will be less sexually active kids. Thus, there will be less pedophilia. Mm-hmm.
Well,
because I'm sure anyone who remembers sex education, you left I always left health class real horned up, real ready to just anything that walked in
Casey,
those
Casey,
diagrams did it for you?
Oh yeah, that vivisection of a penis.
So Casey, your schedule's gonna be sex education and then gym. You're gonna be ready.
Oh no!
Poland has basically been under communist rule till 89. So, like, they're just kind of starting to figure shit out now for themselves. They are just starting to, like, go through all of those, like, they're going through their puberty right now.
And they can't handle it. I agree with you, Laura. They
That's
just
what's
can't do it.
A call to delete Facebook is trending after news that Mark Zuckerberg hosted a series of informal dinners with conservative journalists like Tucker Carlson, though I'm sure that's supposed to read journalists and Tucker Carlson, in an attempt to reach... Oh, no, I don't get a buzzer. Don't give me a buzzer. The jokes just get worse from here. Oh, shit.
Sorry.
Don't you love it when, like, the one you're the most proud of, it's like, and you're like, oh, well, this is going to be a slog. This is all in an attempt to reach out and smooth over the idea that of Facebook is showing favoritism towards a progressive agenda. I can just imagine what that must have been like. You know what doesn't have a liberal bias? Whatever demi-glaze you're using on this salmon.
Yeah, he's a monster. Mark Zuckerberg's a monster.
I mean,
Yeah,
Mark, I don't believe in lizard people, but Mark Zuckerberg is absolutely a lizard person.
No, but my question is, like, I don't understand how we got to the point where we expect the fact that we hate what Facebook allows to come out. It's like hating junk mail so much that you hit the mailman with your car. You know, that's not the point. We shouldn't believe the things that we see on Facebook anyway, except that everyone that I went to high school with is way more successful and happier than me, and that all my ex-girlfriends have a secret group where they talk shit about me daily.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
besides that,
We're the product of Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is not the product. We don't know. We own nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, I made myself sad. No, it's
I saw you just
I'll cheer you up. Casey, Lorne Michaels, I hear you do a great Mark Zuckerberg.
Ooh, yeah, I do. Thanks. Let me. You know what's cooler than $1 million?
For the right character.
$1 billion.
Not even the character that says that.
What? That's Mark Zuckerberg, baby. Oh, hey, President Trump, how you doing? Great! Thanks for coming, Mark. Have you met Tucker Carlson? Hey, man, it's me, Tucker Carlson.
Did you guys catch Elizabeth Warren? What she did? She posted a headline.
Oh, straight dragging Facebook.
Yeah, that Mark Zuckerberg had endorsed Trump and then admitted that the story wasn't real just to show how lackluster Facebook is at fact-checking the content that they distribute, which is a good strategy, but it definitely puts way too much faith in trusting Americans will read an entire article. We barely read the headlines anymore. Like, if Apollo 11 happened today, most of us would just be like, man lands on the moon. Okay, I'm bored. I'm just going to assume a guy turned into a cow.
Are you guys upset that Mark Zuckerberg hung out with conservative people?
I don't
I don't
care.
give a shit.
Of course he did.
Everyone-
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
This is why I'm in support of the Elon Musks and the Richard Bransons and the Bezoses.
Mm-hmm.
Not them as people. Like, they're awful. They shouldn't exist. But if billionaires are going to exist and they're going to do the space race, they're going to try and be the first to do trips up to space in I support that because there's a psychological effect that astronauts describe, that when they go up to space and they see the planet for the first time, suddenly something in their mind clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And they describe it as something that you can't experience by seeing a picture of Earth. You have to be up in space and be able to see the planet, and you realize just how fragile this whole thing is, and all of the idea of a separation of class or races or politics or any gender, anything seems ridiculous once you see the whole thing and are one very tenuous place we occupy in this enormous universe. So I want all those billionaires to go up there and they just be like, oh no, I have too much money. Why have I been keeping all
And
this?
this is Casey's Venmo.
Either that,
Yeah, and that's when I slide in those DMs.
they would either do that, or they're all looking at the other window that's going like, how much money is out there?
There's dollars out there. I
I gotta get that moon money.
How can I monetize Mars?
Just sticking pickaxes into Neptune like Yukon Cornelius. Yahoo!
Mark Cuban presents Mercury. Oxford English Dictionary has announced the new words that they've added, and let's just say Scrabble's about to get a little uncomfortable, because the next time I say buck-naked cock teases need to chillax, it'll be with the patronizing condescension of an intellectual scholar. Jedi has been added, and as a Star Wars nerd, we've been wandering around Comic-Con with cloaks and face paint for decades. We don't really need this, though it is nice to know that we're being validated by the dictionary, if not by our parents.
No.
I was upset that fake news got added. If fake news can be added to the dictionary, then any two words next to each other can be added to the dictionary.
Right.
Then the dictionary is 3 times as long.
When did we just start doing like 2-3 word combinations? That's not
not
what
the
a dictionary.
dictionary.
Yeah.
I mean, what evs was added? I mean, thank God kapow was also added, because that's the sound the English language took after these new words were added.
Yeah.
My favorite addition is Jafakin. It's a person who is not Jamaican who portrays
Jafakin?
himself as because there's a lot of boomaclats out there.
This has been the last episode of Secondhand News. We do appreciate
Yo,
it.
they boom. They. Well, you don't like my Elizabeth Warren impression?
Casey, I gotta have you on the show.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
spectacular.
Thank you, Mr. Michaels.
Let's all three at the same time say the outro that we have not written. Thank you
so much
so much
listening
for
to
listening to Secondhand News,
where you get
where you
news
get your news first
and
and-
exclusively
and elusively.
seductively.
Be sure
Sure
to
to
follow
follow
us
us.
on Instagram.
Okay, I'm not doing this. I like our followers too much.
Be sure to like and follow and subscribe on all the social media. Please give us a review on iTunes. It helps us move up the charts and get into the new and noteworthy. And it would be a very, very kind thing to do. We do appreciate it.
Let's practice kindness in this world of chaos.
Yeah. Or whatevs.
Happy fuck Columbus Day, everyone.
Yeah, happy fuck Columbus
Happy
Day.
fuck Columbus!